welcome back. It's time to assemble. Welcome to a new segment that I like to call Jus Mol's Thoughts. So, this is basically me getting ready for a new chapter of my life, and that is the Jus Mol Show. I do have people possibly uh, having an interview with them very, very soon, and I'm going to be communicating back and forth with them. It is a band as well, leading up to the event on June 30th. So hopefully, I'll be able to have a nice interview with them just to sort of get ready, in a manner of sense, for the whole Just More show getting started in the summer. Um, and of course, we're trying to get some stuff recorded as well to see what we can do and see if I can post it up onto the channel for you all to enjoy. Um, but there has been an awful lot that has gone on in the world, especially within the space of YouTube. So, to those of you that don't know, the Just One's Thoughts is just basically me speaking on everything that has happened. I would say over YouTube, in YouTube, a little bit of sports, just kind of a little bit of sprinkle of everything. But our main focus is in the world of social media, YouTube. You get the gist. So, where do we first begin? I think we should first begin with the Kinpyn tournament. So the Kinpyn tournament is a boxing tournament. And let me be perfectly honest. Mm. Oh, I mean, it's been entertaining, but I fear for Kingpin because they're not making any profit. They're not making any revenue. That You can tell they're not earning much in return because the arenas that they're in, they're empty. There was one fight where it wasn't empty, and they had close to two, maybe 3,000 people in the audience, and that was when Whindersson Nunes actually had his fight. Whindersson Nunes, uh, let me be perfectly honest, that fight was a great fight, but I think that was co-main, if I'm not mistaken, and after that fight finished, boom, everyone buggered off. That tells you everything that you need to know. Gibb, and Addison Gibb, he is a YouTuber that I like and I respect. But when he's talking about he deserves more money and this and that, I'm like, well, no, you don't, because you can't sell, mate. You can't sell. You don't sell. You don't. If you are out of the country, you do not sell. You don't sell very well here in the UK, which is, where you live. So you can't say that you deserve more money when you don't bring in the viewership. So without the viewership, you've got no revenue there, and that's what you need for these events. And yeah, I mean, I could understand Gabe thinking that he does deserve more money. I'm like, that's fine. If you believe that you deserve a little bit more money, absolutely fine. But don't demand more money when you haven't gone out there and proved that you can bring in the audience. Because as from what I've seen from his last two or three fights, he can't. He just doesn't. And that's bad. And this Kingpin tournament looks like it's just gonna slowly crash and burn, in all honesty. I really I really see it struggling to get all the way to August, which is when the tournament ends. I see it struggling. Do I see it stopping? Possibly. I feel like if the same thing happens for their next event, they will struggle massively to do any more. If they cannot earn a decent amount of revenue for the whole event as a whole, they're going to struggle massively to gain anything whatsoever. So hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully that they have massive success, because from where I've been sat and what I've seen, it's been non. It's been an. It's not been successful. It's been entertaining, but it's not been successful. So yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And for Kingpin to target misfits, Misfits are fucking light years away, guys. Don't try it, because Misfits are selling out events. When some people on Twitter with little Twitter fingers, they go, no, they didn't. I'm like, I've watched every single Misfits event and they have sold out. Every single event, and the venue keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You can't say they haven't sold out when the evidence and the proof is there. They've sold events out time and time again, creating a lot of revenue, and that's why they're still going. And that's probably to why they're going to continue going for years to come, maybe. KSI is another one who is in the news again. He has been all over social media, calling out Winners and Nunez. Yeah, I'm going to be perfectly honest. Um, like I said, if that Kinpyn tournament does crumble, which I kind of see it happening, I can possibly see that fight happening in the summer. Maybe I would say either towards the end of August or the beginning of September. That's where I can sort of see it happening. But KSI does have a fight going up against Joe Fournier on May the 13th. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. A lot of people are trying to go after KSI, saying that his opponents haven't been great, and I'm like, right, his first opponent was Joe Weller, and everyone was sucking Joe off, thinking that he was going to be the big man because he goes to the gym. I'm like, doesn't mean dog crap. All it means is that he's active. It doesn't mean he's an athlete or anything. It just means he goes to the gym and keeps in shape. And when he got in that ring with him, and then I saw the transformation from KSI, I was like, oh, KSI's won. He's in Joe's head, like he's rattled Joe, and then it's gonna come onto the night, and I think Joe's gonna shit himself because Joe has not been on that stage yet. Where KSI has, where he's performed in front of thousands, if not millions, live, that is. And so that's exactly what happened. Joe crumbled under the pressure, and KSI walloped him, literally manhandled him across the ring. Joe got some good licks in. That's what happens sometimes, and if you're not ready for the world of boxing, it's gonna smack you in your face. And yeah, that's what happened to Gibb as well when he fought Jake. That's the way it goes, I'm afraid, ladies and gents. And Jake is in the news again, ladies and gents, due to, well, let's just say he's going to be fighting Nate Diaz. That's if the fight is still happening. Nate Diaz, he has reverted back to his old shithousery tactics of fighting old retired MMA fighters, ladies and gents. So when people were trying to say Jake's proved himself. No, he hasn't, because he's fought against old retired men whose chins no longer exist. He will get respect because he gets in the ring, but when he's going around and he tried to do the same against Tommy, so finally he caved in and finally gave Tommy the fight. And let me just be perfectly honest with you, I do not know how that got given a split decision, and that's why boxing is so corrupt. And it's so rigged because you cannot and you should not have a judge that is from the same country as one of the fighters, because they will be 2 billion% biased to their fighter to the fighter that's from their country. Happens every single time in boxing. I've watched many, many, many boxing fights where there's been judges that's from the same country as the fighter, and they give them the fight, and it becomes a split decision all of a sudden. I'm like, that fight against Tommy and Jake should never have been a split decision. The only time Jake came awake in that fight was towards the latter rounds, where he got a decent little leg, and due to catching Tommy by surprise and off guard, um, made him lose his footing, slipped, and went on his backside. Would I have said that's a knockdown? It's a yes, Sandor, because really he's just been caught off guard, but it's still a knockdown. But Jake did nothing throughout that fight. Jake looked absolutely terrified when he was walking out. He looked like he didn't want to be there because he was about to be found out, which I have said from the get-go, that Jake is not a very good boxer. He's a very good brawler. He's a very good fighter. He's got good power, great counter-attack ability, but his defense, his footwork, and his boxing ability, skill, technique is woeful. And I said he's going to go up against Tommy, and Tommy's gonna manhandle him. He's gonna manhandle him. He's gonna batter him across that ring, left, right, and centre. And that's exactly what happened. Tommy got the win hands down through my vision, and a fair few of my other boxing friends even said the same thing. They said the exact same thing, and they said, "You know what? He's not wrong. He's not very wrong in all honesty, because Jake didn't look like he wanted to be there. He looked scared, like he was going to get caught out and found out, which he did. And so now Jake's gone, right, I can't fight boxers. I'm going to go fight an MMA guy again. And this time it's Nate Diaz. Now everybody's saying Nate Diaz is going to win. And I'm like, you're all falling for the same shithousery tricks that Jake has done in the past with Woodley twice, Ben Askren, Nate Robinson. These guys are just athletes. They've never boxed, really. They've not trained in boxing for years and years and years and years. Their heart and soul isn't in boxing. It's not. It's not. Robinson didn't even train properly. He didn't. You could tell he didn't. He didn't know what to do. He looked like he was just in there going, oh! Fucking charged at Jake like it was rugby or at the NFL. I'm like, you've got to get your ass knocked out. And then, lo and behold, he got knocked out, which was a nice knockout, I can't lie, but you're going to knock somebody out when they're running at you going charge with their heads up in the air. Yes, you're going to catch them flush. Ben Askren, he had come out from a hip replacement fucking surgery. It was only a matter of time before that was ever going to end up as a knockout. Woodley, everyone was going on about Woodley. The majority of his wins, though, man. You look at the majority of his wins, he hasn't, like, knocked an awful lot of people out. He has, but the striking in boxing and MMA is very, very different. It's very different because you can be a bit more laissez. With boxing, it's all about technique. It's all about how you throw that punch, and it can be a lot more looser in MMA. Like you could just catch them and then you get them on the ground and you go for that submission. That's the majority of what most MMA fighters want to do is crack them decently on the jaw or whatever or on the body, and then if they go down, get down on the ground and just absolutely murder them, get them in a triangle, whatever, choke them the fuck out, make them quit. That not an awful lot of MMA fighters want to go in there, have they don't go in there going, I'm gonna knock this guy out. They go, I'm gonna smoke this guy, I'm gonna choke him out, I'm gonna make him quit. And now we come to Salt Papi. Salt Papi is in the news due to his upcoming fight in Misfits 07, which is the same card of Joe Fournier versus KSI. And that fight is going to be very interesting. But I got a feeling that not a lot of people are very happy, including myself, are not very happy that it's been announced that it's only going to be 3 rounds. 3 rounds. People are going on about Salt Papi being amazing. He is amazing. But if this guy does not want to do more than 4 rounds, he can't go and fight KSI and Jay because their cardio is going to be 10 times better than his. He'll get to the 4th round and he'll be fucked. If KSI normally would go for either 8 or 10 rounds now, and if Salt Papi goes to 4th round, his gasket's gone. He's completely finished, and then you've got KSI, who is this absolute machine, would absolutely clean house with him. He would, not because of skill, but because of his cardio. He would just annihilate him. He'll keep going for that body, and if he doesn't knock him out, he'll make him quit because of his cardio. He will just outwork and outdo Salt Papi in the cardio region. Look at Deji against Vinny Hacker. It doesn't matter how much power you've got. All that matters is your gasket good enough? Because you can go ham for 4 rounds straight. What happens when your gasket's gone? You've got nothing left in your arsenal. You're just slugging it, trying so hard to connect a punch with your opponent. But your opponent's cardio is about 2 or 3 times better than yours, and they've got at least another 2 or 3 rounds left in them before their gas has run out. And they're just toying with you. They're just teeing off, lining up shots. The being able to maneuver around the ring a lot more better and a lot more smoothly without any pain or like, oh. Salt Papi needs to look at to start fighting 6, 8, 10 rounds. If he doesn't, he's going to get knocked out eventually because of his cardio. And cardio, ladies and gents, is ridiculously important in boxing. Because if your cardio is not good enough, you will get knocked out. Because once your gasket's gone, you've got nothing left in your tank. You can easily get caught. You can get caught lacking because your energy has depleted so much that your guard lowers because you've now no longer got the gas in the tank to keep those arms up. So eventually they start coming down. And then you start getting lackadaisical, losing focus, losing lack of concentration. Bang, bang. That's it. Lights out. It happens. I've seen it in boxing very regularly. I think that though with Salt Papi versus KSI, I think that could be a good fight. But I worry for Salt Papi because he needs to focus on cardio first. Because KSI now probably does most of the time 8 to 10 rounds. So if he wants to fight KSI or Jake Paul, he's going to have to massively improve on his cardio before he goes anywhere near those guys. And when people are like, "Oh, nobody wants to fight him," and then Keem's saying that Keem was coming up with some fucking shit. Keem, I don't mind Keem at times, but there are more other times where he just does my head in. I'm like, lad, shut up. I'm like, he does my head in sometimes. I'm like, mate, shush. You know, like, shush, shush, shush. Nobody cares, shush. Uh, but he's on about Anthony Taylor as well, and I'm like, oh, they're both happy punch fighters, and I'm like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Are they boxers? Yes. Have they got pro licenses? Yes. So what if they're from the same promotion? Have them fucking fight. If they've got a little bit of beef or whatnot, and they go right, let's settle it in the ring. Go crack on them. We'll make it an event. So what we would do makes sense. And to put them on the event of the Misfits or Seven just makes sense. But it should be 6 rounds. In all honesty, for their weight class, which is if I believe, it is, if I'm not mistaken, it's cruiserweight. So you're telling me you've got a 3 round cruiserweight fight? Nobody will want to watch that fight. Everyone will fuck off and go for a drink. Go for a shit. Go for a piss. They might as well. Because nobody's going to stick around to watch it. So I best believe no one's going to stick around to watch it. It needs to be at least 6 rounds for a cruiserweight fight. Between those two. It has to be 6 rounds. And then Keem's on about, oh, it's only fair. You know, because his last opponent dropped out and he was a tough opponent. And I'm like, Anthony Taylor is a tough opponent for Salt Papi. Anthony Taylor is a solid fighter, he's a solid boxer. Don't know who they had first, but this fight is going to be a good fight. 6 rounds. Doesn't matter how much money. If they love boxing as much as they do, they'll agree to any payment. Well, any payment that is acceptable. Next up, though, we have football. We have the soccer, and we have my hometown club Barrow AFC. They have done quite well this season. Last season they were fighting against relegation. They stayed up last season, and this season they finished mid-table. They really, or top end of mid-table. They finished ninth, I believe, in the table, which is very, very good. But were very disappointed in the last result. Barrow suffered a crushing defeat, 3-1. Who was it Mansfield or someone our opponents were? I think it was something like that. But yeah, there is some players at the club that I do believe that need to go. They need to move on because it's just not for them. And some players are good, some players just aren't good enough. And we need players like a Paul Mullin, etc. If we've got any hope and chance of banging in goals left, right, and centre, and genuinely challenging for a promotion to League One. something's going to have to happen. We're going to have to need. I think the coach that we've got is all right. Pete Wild, that is. I think Pete Wild's a very solid coach, but we need the talent. We need a bit more talent. We need a proper all-and-out goal scorer, somebody that you can just tell is going to grab your goals. We may need to look at League One or maybe Championship. Maybe try and loan someone and bring them in, and then see at the end of the season if we can keep hold of them, or go to go to League One, look for a player that's not going to cost so much money, and see if we can bring a proper striker in. But we need at least two. We need at least two. Need a walk. I need a proper quality striker for League Two, and we need a solid substitute striker like that can come in and can grab a few goals here and there. Um, and then I think the defence needs to be fixed a little bit because it's too leaky. We're leaking too many goals. And the midfield, I think the midfield's okay. I think the midfield's okay. Might need maybe one or two here and there, but hey ho, we'll have to wait and see for that. But that's all for next season. And talking about next season, talking about League Two football in the EFL Football League, we have Wrexham AFC. They are back in the top flight of football, ladies and gents. Hey, they've done it! I could not be happier for the club of Wrexham. I really couldn't be any happier for them. I have a colleague from Bingo. He was very salty of Wrexham and whatnot, and I'm like, why he's so salty? He's like the sea is a fairy tale. Well, it is for the fans of Wrexham, the people that are from Wrexham. It's a fairy tale for them. Two Hollywood stars in Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have come to Wrexham, the north of Wales, to buy their football club. The first season, they just missed out from playoffs after being defeated in the semi-finals, which was heartbreaking. But then they came back the next season and got automatic promotion, breaking all kinds of records with 111 points. And they're like, oh, we've got the money. That's the whole point. That's what you do with football clubs now. If you can spend the money, it's there, and you can bring the quality in to help you win. Go and do it. Stop settling for mediocrity. I would have been honoured if Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney came to Barrow and bought Barrow AFC. I'd be honoured if they did. Or if anyone else in Hollywood that wants to do that. Please and thank you very much. Please. I'd love it. I would absolutely adore it. Because they are running the club beautifully. Beautifully running that club. They are so passionate about the sport and so passionate about the people of Wrexham and the club, and they genuinely care. They genuinely give a shit, which is so nice to see. They are celebrities, they are big names, especially Ryan Reynolds, and they give a shit. They care about the community, they care about the club, they care about the players. They've got a great relationship with each other, and that's why you've even seen it in Ben Foster's, aka the Cycling GK's vlogs, of how everybody is at Wrexham. It's just a town where you just want to be. It's filled with so much positivity, love, and laughter, and the football club's doing great. Yes. They spent 15 years suffering, 15 years in the National League, and now they're finally back to where they belong for a club of their stature with the stadium that they do have. They belong in the football league. They belong there, and it's nice to see them back there. So if anyone from Wrexham does see this, congratulations, welcome back to the football league, and I look forward to seeing you at the Soul Eagle Stadium next season here in Barrow. I'll see you all there. Come on, you Barrow! Come on, you Brabants! Oh, that's going to be a fun day. That's going to be a fun day. Because I know one thing for certain. Wrexham fans are loud. They are passionate. They are loud. They are a noisy bunch. So that's going to be an amazing moment. That's going to be an amazing away day for them to come all the way here. And then, of course, for us, because I can only imagine what the atmosphere, just hearing what it sounds like in, like, watching the games and stuff. You're just sort of like, holy shit. 10,000 odd people is full We can't do that because how many? I think we have our capacity is like 5,000 at most. We've been in league football now for 3 years, and our stadium is only 5,000 or 6,000, something like that. I don't think it's 10,000. If it is 10,000, please somebody in the comments from Barrow, please correct me. But yeah, like I said, Wrexham, well done and welcome back to the Football League. You really do deserve it. Well done. I hope Notts County do make it as well because it will be great to see Notts County back because they've been doing the exact same thing as Wrexham this season, breaking all kinds of records, etc. Over 100 points, two teams battling it off all the way towards the end. So yeah, I would love to see Notts County up there, and yeah, that's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a good one. Is that one? Uh, and then last but not least, we have Chelsea. My other love, my other passion, which a lot of the Chelsea fans, in all honesty, I'm going to be 100% honest. Chelsea fans, I cannot stand. They are the majority of Chelsea fans are the worst fan base I have ever seen in world football because they're so toxic. They expect instant fucking success, and I'm like, you're not gonna get instant success, you pillocks. And then they're on about we spent 600 million. Who gives a shit? Doesn't matter how much fucking money you spend, you tarts. Our club has been in disarray. It's been in so much disarray for the past 5 years. Our philosophy at the club has been managers doing shit, bring in new guy. Oh, we actually win something. Manager does shit again. Bring in a new guy. We win something again. Manager just does shit. The next season, it's a fucking pattern. It happens every single season. I'm sick to death with it. I love watching Man City and Liverpool because they have stuck by their manager for a long time now. For a long time, both managers at both clubs have still remained there. Even if they have the highs and the lows. And Liverpool is also going through one of their lows at the moment as well. But it happens to every club. It happens to every club. And now it's happening to Chelsea. Most importantly, it's happening, and most overall, it's happening to Chelsea very badly. And the reason to why it is our squad is so clogged with too much shit. It's got too much shit there. It's not. There's not enough quality there. You've got players on top of players that are quality, that are brilliant at creating. They are playmakers. They can make goal opportunities come. But they've got no assurance as a striker to bring the goals. Because their main striker is off at Inter Milan banging in goals. And then you've got Aubameyang. For some reason, he's not getting playing time, but instead you want to play fucking Kai Havertz. You tell me where that makes sense. Playing Kai Havertz as a striker or a centre forward. He's not a centre forward. He's a fucking central attacking midfielder. He's not. He's not. It does my nut in. I'm like, put him as a cam. If you want to do anything, have him as a cam. And when Kante gets injured, we are fucked because there's nobody in the world like N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante. Like, there's no other player like him. He is the best player I have ever seen in that position, central defensive midfield, that I have seen in a long time. And it's a joy watching him play. When he's at his best, he is unbelievable to watch. When he's not in the squad, we suffer. We've also got dog shit at the back as well. That being in goal, and that is Kepa Arrizabalaga and Ilbad Mendy. I think Mendy's a better goalkeeper than Kepa, but they're both not good enough. They're both not good enough. They make colossal mistakes on a regular basis. You can't do that if you want to win championships, you want to win silverware. You can't do that. You can't have the first thing that whoever it is, and it looks like it's going to be it's going to be Poch, it's going to be Pochettino, and I'm like, bring him in, please. What he did at Tottenham, very impressive. It's a shame he didn't win anything there, but that's because it's a shit club. What do we think of Tottenham? I mean, the most spoken about Tottenham the best. I mean, still, we'll have to have a little bit of a laugh at them. It doesn't matter. I don't care where they are. They've had a worse season than us. When you think about it, and the losses that they have suffered this season compared to what Chelsea have suffered, they haven't like been wiped out of games. They've lost like 1-0, 2-1, etc., 3-1. They haven't been wiped out of games like Tottenham have. Like Tottenham have. They got battered 6-1 against Newcastle at St James's Park. They conceded 4 goals. 4 or 5 goals in like 20 minutes. I'm like, what? Ah, you know, I was watching the game. I'm like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing. And I have a friend. His name's George. He wasn't very happy. He's gone on about Chelsea being shit. I'm like, mate, we still have not suffered that kind of embarrassment this season. To which he kind of just went, "You're wrong. You haven't. You may have lost games, but not that bad." And it looks like everything that Antonio Conte said about Tottenham, very, very true. There's no passion. There's no determination. There's no desire to push yourself to be better, to keep challenging, go for the fucking creme of the creme. They've got a fair bit of quality at Tottenham, but for some reason there's no oomph in them to make it there, which is a shame. But also you've got an incompetent fucking owner who has the club in an awful amount of debt. They're in a stadium they can't afford, and the owner is more than happy to always go for second or third best. Not the best, but second or third best. And that's why Tottenham has not won a thing for years. It's because they're so content of just settling for second or third best. And you can't win anything like that, ever. You cannot win in life, you cannot win anything at all when all you try and do is settle. Settle for the best, settle for the second best, or the third best, or fourth best. You need to be the very best, like no one ever was. Uh, I had to do that one time when I go to school. All you 90s kids, even you 80s kids, see all that. And they're all just sort of going, my guy. Just sort of like, oh, there's the inner nerd coming out there. But yeah, that is all of my thoughts on today in the world. That is YouTube, and of course a little bit of the sport world as well. Thank you all ever so much for watching. This has been it for Jus Mol's thoughts. I'll see you all next time. God bless, take care, and peace.